Hello, everyone. This is Amani here. I just wanted to check in to see how all you all are doing. Happy Monday. And, we're off to a great week. So, I wanted to talk with you all today about my struggle with imposter syndrome. I am just having a really hard time getting out of my head. I've been struggling with sort of trying to maneuver through this whole book writing process. Today is the official first day where I will begin my revisions to my first draft manuscript, and I can't lie and not tell you that I'm overwhelmed. I recently got off the phone with my editor, and it was a good conversation. And I just remember as I was like writing down all the things I needed to do, my heart started pumping, my eyes started to get bigger, my breath started to just get more, I don't know, just all over the place. And I had to take a deep breath, and I'm going to take a deep breath now as I'm looking at notifications that come through. But, as I was thinking, I'm just like, I don't have to be a perfectionist. I can just write a great book. But I feel like there's just so much pressure in writing a great book, right? There's so much that goes into it. There's so many things that I want to share. There's so many things I don't want to share. There's so many things I'm scared to share. And I realize that a lot of it comes back down to how I feel or think about how people are going to think about me. And part of my journey of really unbecoming is getting outside of what people think, what people say, what people do. And a lot of this is sort of made up in my head. I'm not sure if any of you all struggle with this, where you all create stories inside your head that don't even exist, but you think exist. And you sort of just run with it. And so for me, as we're going through the content index of where my chapters are, we're sort of writing out all of the deadlines that are coming up. And, I have a deadline that's coming up August. What is it? Phew. So between August 17th and September 13th, my first revision is due. And so we backtracked because I have 27 chapters, which probably will not end up at all being 27 chapters, but we've sort of marked out and have taken apart and put pieces back together of when things are due. And so this upcoming week, I have 7 chapters that I have to revise. And I am sort of just really nervous. But one of the things that I've been doing too is I've been keeping track with a lot of my notes. If you know me, I am one of the most unorganized people on this earth. And part of it is I can attribute to my ADHD. And so there's just so much going on inside my head. I'm trying to figure out how to make things work, how to make things go, how to not overthink everything, not to worry so much. This morning I started off with, doing meditation and doing stretches to get my mind focused. And as soon as I got off the phone with her, I really wanted to just go to my bed and just like lay down for a little bit. But I am not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to take some more deep breaths. I might read some affirmations over myself just to sort of help get myself in the groove, because my goal today is to revise the introduction of my book as well as one of the chapters. And one of the good things is that because I'm so unorganized, the other day I spent a lot of my time on Google Docs going through a lot of the different things that I've written so far and have organized it into a folder of itself. So what I've done today is I started looking actually at the documents that I have, and I'm looking up here because I have a second screen. But I've started to look into those drafts and to look to see, actually, I have a lot of good material. It's just about me having to organize material. And believe it or not, the word count is 50,000 words, and I have over 80,000 words already. And so I have obviously a lot to say, and I'm just really trying to figure out how to organize it, how to make things work, how to make things fit. because as I've been writing, I realized that the process of writing has just been this journey of really trying to understand what is it that I'm trying to say? What is the overall goal of my book? What is it that I want people to take away from it? And what do I want to get from it? And I think that for me, I think that's been one of the most difficult processes is really trying to understand, you know, how can I help inspire people with the stories that I've written, the experiences that I've had, and sort of the life lessons that I've learned along the way. And I think for me, I realize that you never stop learning. I'm in my prime still, and so I am still going on this journey, and I'm in this journey. And so what I'm particularly tasked with is really trying to write about my past in a way of where I was, and then also bringing reflection to it as to where I am today. Because there's been many things that have happened in my life that I did not quite understand as a child. But it wasn't until I grew up, I got older, I started to do a lot of reflection, I was in therapy to really grasp a better understanding of sort of the situations that have happened to me and the different experiences that I've learned from those things. And so really trying to piece those things together has been truly difficult. The other thing is that I've always been a creative writer. I loved writing, I loved reading as a kid. But as soon as I got to school, it became more of an academic pursuit. And so I write in a way that's more academic, and I'm really trying to tune back into that creative space, that funny space of who I am, and to really draw out those stories. Because who wants to sit and listen to a story that's full of academia? And not to say that my stories are full of academia, it's more so I have to continue to drive the emotion behind the experiences that I've had. And so I, again, am thankful for all of you all who have tuned in and have listened, because you all are helping make this thing happen for me. I know that I'm not alone. I know that I'm not the only one that struggles with imposter syndrome. And as many of you know, imposter syndrome is sort of this feeling that you have over yourself in a way where you think that you can't accomplish and do things, but you actually can. That's the most simplified way that I can explain it. And I think for me, as someone who has grown up, with a learning disability, I've always had to overcompensate. I've had to navigate the educational playing field a little differently than my other peers. And in those moments, I've never really felt enough. And so as I'm writing, I find that I'm still struggling in that area. And so that's another reason why I really want to hone in and talk about why healing is a lifelong journey, because there are things that you learn along the way. There are things that have happened to you. Again, traumatized children become traumatized adults. And as someone who has experienced a significant amount of trauma, I am in this now place where I'm really thinking back and really reflecting on those experiences to really make meaning of my world. And so again, as I mentioned, I'm just doing a lot of reflection. I'm doing a lot of thinking. I am doing a lot of writing. And as someone who also struggles with perfectionism, imposter syndrome and perfectionism are sort of hand in hand. And for me, I'm really trying to just write a book. Or write a book that shares the authentic parts of myself, the authentic parts of my experiences, the authentic lessons that I've learned along the way, the things that I'm still learning, the pain that I've experienced, the joys that I've experienced, the wins that I've experienced, the losses that I've faced, and also the adventures that I've had that I never thought I would be able to have. And so this book is really an attempt to also inspire so many other people, especially our young people who are navigating through really difficult times, who are navigating the foster care system, who are navigating whether or not they belong in this world. is to really show up and to show them that, you know what? I've been on this journey for 32 years now, and I'm not stopping. And there have been times when I've wanted to stop, and that's okay too. You know, you move with how you're supposed to move. And so for me, it's really about getting this message across of letting young people know that they are the prize. And that the prize for you and the prize for me may look completely different. Doesn't mean that they are a prize no less. And so it's about how you value people with who they are, with where they are, and what they're going to become. Because so many people put labels on me. So many people said, you know what? You're not going to graduate from high school. You're going to end up just like your parents. You're going to end up incarcerated. You're going to end up homeless. You're going to end up in all these places. These were the messages that I received, even though they were not always directly shared with me. But you know when something is up, right? We all know. And so for me, it's about teasing out the things that people have thought, the things that people have said, the things that people have done to me along this journey, and really rising up in my own power. That, my friends, are the ultimate reasons why we have to continue to tune into ourselves so that we, and how we are, and who we want to be, we see ourselves the way that we want. And hopefully, you will also see yourself as the prize. I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening to me. Next time, I'm going to share with you a little more in depth about my process of writing. I understand that many people may have not written a book. I've heard friends that they've started writing a book, but they haven't been able to quite finish. That's okay too. I started my book journey at the age of 12 and just recently picked it up. And so it doesn't matter how long it has taken you to do it. What matters is the journey. What matters is the process. And what matters ultimately is the life lessons that you're learning through the process. And so be gentle with yourselves, everyone. We're all in this together. And I just want to thank you all for all that you are doing, all of the ways that you're supporting me. You all are truly my family. And I just want to continue to shout you all out from the rooftops, because there is no me without you. There is no you without me. And there is no we without all of us. And so we're all in this together. And so one of the last things that I want to share with you is with Brian from New Degree Press. You know, he writes, this is from people who've written, you know, the second time around. And he said, great books aren't written, they are rewritten. And this is from second time authors. And so just as much as you all are understanding your own life journeys, again, your story has been written, but your story can be rewritten. And that's really the ultimate goal of You Are the Prize, is for me to rewrite the story that was written about me. And so I want to thank you again for tuning in to Amani Writes. And any questions or comments that you all have, I want to ask, you know, in the comment section, how have you all been able to navigate imposter syndrome? Any advice, any tools that you can give me as you all are navigating this journey? I know that it's not easy. I know for me, it's really about me having to consistently read affirmations over myself and still do things afraid. And I also want to know if there's any practical things. If you all do walking, if you all do swimming. I had an opportunity to go swim at the beach yesterday, and it was really, really fun. And I had my mask on, and my mask got all wet. But that's okay. I still enjoyed myself. I will say that it was a bit difficult to breathe as the water was, you know, sort of like flushing all over my face. But what I really appreciated was the waves that were taking me in. I really appreciate waves. I really appreciate just feeling sort of, you know, limitless in the water. And so tell me about some of your favorite memories of, you know, being at the beach. But also share with me about how you all have been able to overcome and navigate through imposter syndrome and perfectionism. And so I will see you all next time, and continue to keep your heads up. And again, always remember that you are the prize. Boom. Take it easy, folks. Bye.